My precious child, before you say a word, before you explain yourself, before you try to decide whether you even deserve to be here right now, I want you to hear me. I already know you, not the version of you that the world sees, not the one who holds it together, who says the right things, who keeps going even when going feels impossible. I am not here for that version right now. I am here for the real one, the one sitting underneath all of that effort, the one who is tired in a way that sleep has not been able to fix, the one who has been hoping quietly for so long that hope itself has started to feel heavy. That is who I came for today. So stay with me. Do not rush past this. What I am about to say to you has been a long time coming, and I need you to receive every word of it. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat somewhere and genuinely felt at rest? Not managing the day, not holding something together, not preparing for the next thing that needs your attention. Actually still. Actually okay? Actually present without a weight pressing down on the back of your mind. You are having to think about it. Are you not? And the fact that the memory takes this long to find tells me something important about what your life has felt like. Not for a week, not even for a month. For a season that has stretched longer than you wanted to admit to anyone, including me. I want you to hear what I am about to say very carefully. You have been carrying more than you were ever designed to carry alone. I see the shape of what you are holding. I know what it feels like from the inside, because I have been inside it with you. Even in the moments you could not feel me there. The tiredness you carry is not weakness. It is what happens when a person pours out consistently and nothing pours back in. When you keep showing up for everyone else, and somewhere along the way stopped expecting anyone to show up for you. I am showing up for you right now. This moment, this conversation, is me coming to find you where you are. Not where you wish you were, not where you think you should be by now, right here, exactly as you are. And I need you to let that land before we go any further. There is a fear you carry that you have not said out loud, maybe not even to yourself in clear language, but I know it. It lives at the back of everything. It shows up at 3 in the morning when the noise of the day stops and the quiet gets too loud. It is the fear that maybe this is just how it is now, that the life you believed was possible for you, the one you prayed for, the one you could feel waiting for you when you were younger, and things still felt open. Maybe that life is not coming. Maybe you waited too long. Maybe you made too many wrong turns. Maybe while you were busy surviving, everyone else moved into the future, and the door closed behind them and you are still standing on the outside of it. That fear has been asking you questions about your choices, about your worth, about whether the things you still want are even things you are allowed to want anymore, about whether wanting them makes you foolish or naive or somehow ungrateful for what you already have. And I need you to hear what I think about that fear. It is lying to you, not because your life has been easy or because nothing is genuinely hard, but because that fear is built on a premise that is not true. It assumes that my love for you has a time limit, that there is a window for what I can do in your life and that window is closing, that my ability to move on your behalf expires if you have waited too long or failed too many times or fallen further than a certain distance. None of that is how I work. Not one word of it reflects who I am. Let me tell you what is actually true. I have been working in the places you cannot see, not around your hardest seasons through them. The stretch of time that felt like silence from me was never silence. I do not go quiet. I do not leave. I was speaking into you during every single moment you thought I had gone. I was building things in the unseen places, depth that only comes through pressure, endurance that only forms through uncertainty, a quality of compassion in you that cannot be manufactured, because it grew in someone who genuinely suffered and still chose to trust. You did not lose those years. I know it felt like loss. You are allowed to have felt that. I do not need you to pretend the hard things were comfortable, or to perform a gratitude you do not fully feel yet. I can hold the truth of how difficult it has been, bring it to me as it actually was, and then let me show you what I built in the middle of it. Because something is being constructed in your life right now that is going to surprise you when it becomes visible. It will not announce itself with drama. It will arrive the way I usually arrive, quietly, with a rightness to it that you will recognize in your spirit before you can explain it to anyone else. And when it comes, you will look back at this exact moment and understand that this was the day the season started to turn. If something I just said reached a place in you that needed reaching, I want you to write "I am here" in the comments right now. Just those 3 words. Let it be your way of saying that you are present, that you are open, that you are ready to receive what I am moving toward you. And if you know someone who needs to hear that the silence they have been living in is not abandonment, share this with them today. Be the one who put something in their hands that was meant for them. I want to pause here and speak to the people in this community who have been planting seeds into this ministry. Those of you who have given an offering through the Super Thanks button, who have sowed something into this space even in a season when your own situation felt tight. I see every seed. I keep record of every act of faith. And what you have planted has not gone unnoticed by me. It is working. It is growing. I am a God who multiplies what is given in faith, and your return is coming in a form that will be unmistakable. If you are watching this right now and you feel something in your spirit saying this is the moment, I want you to respond to that. The Super Thanks button is right there. Plant something today, not out of obligation, out of the faith that says, I believe this word is real, and I am putting something behind that belief. That act of trust is a seed, and I do not let seeds die that are planted in my name. Now I want to talk about the thing you are most tired of explaining. You have a situation, a specific one, something that has gone on long enough that you have stopped mentioning it to people because you have learned what their faces do when you bring it up again. The carefully worded responses that are kind but also clearly come from someone who has moved on from it in their own mind, even if you have not been able to. The friends who stopped asking because they assumed it must have resolved. The family members who offered advice so wide of the mark that you felt more alone after the conversation than before it. You learned to carry this quietly, not because it stopped mattering, because talking about it cost you something and gave you very little back, and the loneliness of that particular silence is its own specific pain. Not the loneliness of being alone, the loneliness of being surrounded by people who love you, and still being completely unseen in the thing that matters most. Of living a life that looks functional from the outside and feels like barely surviving from the inside. Of performing okayness so consistently that you have almost believed it yourself, except in the moments when you cannot anymore. I need you to hear something about those moments. I was in all of them. Everyone you got through, everyone you barely got through, everyone you cannot fully account for, where you look back and genuinely wonder where the strength came from. I know where it came from. I was underneath everything, holding what you could not hold, keeping things from breaking, that would have broken without my hand on them. You called it resilience. You called it adrenaline. You did not always have a name for it, but I know what it was. It was my grace, given to you. Because you are mine, I want to speak now about the guilt you carry alongside everything else. Because it is there, is it not? The particular guilt of someone who believes but does not always feel their belief. Who knows what they are supposed to feel in a moment of worship and sometimes feels nothing. Who has prayed the same prayer so many times that it has started to feel like a script repeated into an empty room, and who carries a low, persistent shame about the gap between the faith they show the world and the faith they actually feel on the inside. You have wondered if I am disappointed in you. You have looked at people who seem to worship with uncomplicated joy and felt something in your chest that was part admiration and part grief. A grief you did not know how to name because naming it felt like admitting something you were not sure you were allowed to admit. Let me be direct with you about this. I am not disappointed in you. I have never been disappointed in you. What I see when I look at you is not someone failing to perform faith correctly. I see someone walking through something genuinely difficult, reaching for me with whatever they have available, and continuing to come back even when coming back takes everything. That is not thin faith dressed up as something better. That is some of the realest faith I have ever seen, because real faith is not the kind that only shows up when it feels easy. Real faith is the kind that keeps showing up when it costs something. And yours has cost you a great deal. You are not behind. You are not on the outside of something that everyone else has access to. You are right here in the middle of the conversation I have been waiting to have with you. What I want to give you today is not a feeling that will last a few days and then fade when the weight of ordinary life settles back in. I am not interested in giving you a temporary emotional lift that leaves you needing another one next week. What I am building in you is structural, a knowing that does not depend on circumstances to stay standing, a foundation that holds even when everything above it is shaking. It begins with the truth about who you are. Not the name your failures have tried to give you, not the label placed on you by people who were themselves wounded and passed the wound on without knowing it. Not the verdict your hardest season tried to render on your worth, not the voice that speaks to you in the worst moments of a bad day and tells you things about yourself that you would never say to someone you loved. What I say about you? I say you are wanted, not tolerated, not managed, not kept around because walking away would be too complicated. Wanted. I chose you specifically, not because you were the best candidate, not because no one else was available, because I looked at who you are, at every part of your history, at the broken places and the beautiful places, and the places that are somewhere in between, and I said, this one I am building something through. Now I want to talk to those of you who are in a financial situation that is pressing on you right now. I know the specific texture of that pressure. It is not just about money. It is about what the shortage says. It is the voice underneath the numbers that tells you that you should be further along, that people your age do not normally still be in this position, that there is something wrong with you that keeps manifesting in this area, that you have prayed about this for too long, and maybe I am not moving on it after all. I am moving on it. I am not looking at your situation from a distance and offering you general reassurances about provision. I am in the specific details of what you are facing. I am opening something right now that is going to shift what is possible. It will not necessarily arrive the way you have been picturing it. What I bring often surprises people with its form, but when it comes, you will recognize it. It will carry a signature that is unmistakably mine, a timing that could not have been manufactured, a rightness that your spirit will know before your mind can process it. Do not close your hands. Keep them open. Keep your heart expectant. I am bringing something and I need you in the posture of receiving, not the posture of someone who has already decided nothing is going to come. This is a moment to sow, my child. I know that sounds like an unusual thing to say to someone who is in financial pressure. But hear me. The seed you plant in the middle of the hard season is not the same as the seed you plant from abundance. When someone who is stretched plants in faith, something in the spiritual realm recognizes the weight of that act and responds to it. If you feel something in your spirit right now saying plant something, I want you to honor that. The Super Thanks feature on this video is one way to do that. Whatever amount you feel led to give it as an act of trust, not as a transaction. Say to me as you do it, Lord, I am planting this seed and I trust you to bring the harvest. And I will hear that. I will honor that. I respond to faith that costs something. For those of you carrying something in your body right now, a pain that has been present too long, a diagnosis that changed how you see your future, a physical weariness that rest has not been able to touch, something in your body that has been narrowing the space of what feels possible. I see your body, not just your spirit. I am present in the physical reality of your life, not only in the spiritual dimension of it. I am at work in bodies right now. I am doing things in the physical world that medicine does not have clean categories for. And some of the people receiving this word today are among those whose bodies are going to tell a story that has my name on it. I want you to place your hand right now on the place that carries the most pain. Do it quietly and tell me you trust me with it. That is the entire prayer. I do not need a long and theologically precise request. I need the honest, simple prayer of a person who is hurting and believes I am able. That kind of prayer moves me every single time. Now I want to speak about what is coming. There is a shift already in motion in your life. It is not coming because you finally earned it, or because you have gotten everything right, or because you found the correct spiritual formula. It is coming because the season of preparation is giving way to the season of expression. Those two seasons always come in that order with me. And you cannot rush the preparation, but you also do not stay in it forever. You have been in preparation long enough. What is approaching is not simply an improvement in your circumstances, though those are shifting too. What is coming is a different way of being inside your own life. A mind that rests more easily, a heart that is less defended, a spirit with more space in it because it has released things it was holding, that it was never meant to hold permanently. A joy that does not need everything to be going well in order to exist, because it is no longer sourced from your circumstances. It is sourced from knowing who I am and from the settled certainty that I am with you, and nothing can change that. You are going to look at yourself in a season that is not far from now and be surprised, not primarily by what has changed around you, though that will be real, by what has changed inside you, by the person you became while you were so focused on surviving that you did not notice you were also growing. The steadiness you carry, the depth of your presence, the quality of peace in you that other people will feel before you have to explain it. That transformation is the thing I am most proud of, not what I am placing in your hands from the outside, what I have been growing in you from the inside. If you are receiving this right now, I want you to let this community know. Write the words "I receive this" in the comments below. Let it be a declaration, a line drawn between the season behind you and the one ahead. And if someone in your life is in the middle of the kind of hard season I have been describing today, share this with them right now. Do not wait until you finish watching. They need it today. You could be the reason something reaches them that was meant for them all along. And for those of you who want to sow into what is being built through this ministry, every message like this one takes real time and real effort to bring into the world. If this has been a place where you have consistently encountered something real, something that speaks to you in a way that meets you where you actually are, I want to invite you to plant a seed here. The super thanks button is right there. Whatever you give it with expectation. I am watching what is planted in this space, and I am a faithful God when it comes to what is sown in faith. I want to talk about the relationships that have left marks on you, the ones that were supposed to be safe and were not. The person you gave the most vulnerable parts of yourself to, and who handled that trust badly. The love that was real but broken in ways that wanting it to be different could not fix. The friendship that dissolved and left a gap you were not expecting. The family member whose words did something in you that you are still working through years later. You have brought these to me in moments that you may not have recognized as prayer. The late night replays. The conversations you have gone over looking for what you should have done differently. The quiet anger you have almost but not entirely released. I was in those moments. I heard you even when you were not sure you were speaking to me. I want to say something specific about the pattern you are afraid of. The one that makes you wonder if certain kinds of hurt are just going to keep finding you. If there is something in you that keeps attracting the wrong things or driving away the right ones, that pattern is not your identity. It is not a sentence on your future. What can be learned can also be unlearned, and I have already been doing work in you in this area longer than you know. The version of you who accepted less than you deserved, because some part of you had decided that was all you were worth, is already in the process of being replaced. You will see the evidence of it in what you say yes to, and what you finally feel settled enough to say no to. The shift is already happening. It just does not always announce itself before it becomes visible. I also need to speak to the unforgiveness, not the hot kind. Most of you have moved past the hot kind. I am talking about the cold kind, the compressed quiet anger that you have labeled as over it because you stopped talking about it out loud. The pocket of something that still pulls when a certain name comes to mind, or a certain memory surfaces, or someone mentions a situation that rhymes with it. You are a little ashamed of still having this, because you know what I have asked of you and you are not sure you have fully done it. I am not coming to you with accusation about this. I am coming with something more useful. Real forgiveness is not something you produce by trying harder. It is not a decision you make once and then simply experience continuously. It is something that grows in you when you stop trying to carry the offense yourself and bring it honestly to me when you say, I cannot make myself be done with this. I need you to do something in my heart that I do not have the capacity to do on my own. That is the prayer that actually works. Not the one where you command yourself into a feeling. The one where you come to me honestly and ask for help. Bring me the thing you almost but not quite let go of. I will carry the rest of it, and the space it leaves in you will not stay empty. I will fill it with something that makes more sense of what happened than the holding on ever could. Let me speak now about your desires, the specific ones. The things you want that you have stopped saying out loud because saying them out loud and then not receiving them is a specific kind of grief that you would rather not repeat. You still have them. Even the ones you have tried to talk yourself out of, even the ones you have been told are not realistic or not appropriate, or not in line with what your life looks like right now. You still want what you want, and some part of you carries a low shame about the wanting itself, as though the right spiritual response would be to have released it all into my hands, and arrived at a perfect peace about whatever comes. I place those desires in you. I want you to hear that clearly. The longings you carry are not a sign that something is wrong with you. They are a sign of what I have been preparing to bring. The hunger and the fulfillment come from the same source, from me, and I do not place a hunger in someone for something I have no intention of satisfying. I do not work that way. I am not that kind of God. What I am saying to you today is that the specific things your heart has held onto are not foolish. They are not too much, and they have not been forgotten just because the timing has been different from what you expected. Watch for them to arrive differently than you pictured. That is almost always how I work. Not through the door you were watching, through the one you had stopped checking. But when it opens, your spirit will know. The recognition will come before the explanation. To those of you who have been faithful givers throughout your lives, who have sowed into churches and ministries and people and causes even in seasons when your own resources were stretched, I see that. I have kept record of every act of generosity you performed in faith rather than in abundance. Every time you gave more than was comfortable, every time you let go of something you could have justified keeping. That faithfulness has not been forgotten by me. The principle of sowing and reaping is not a spiritual metaphor. It is a real law in the economy of my kingdom, and it is working in your life whether you can see the evidence yet or not. Your harvest is coming. It is going to be proportional to what you have planted over the course of your faithfulness, not just your most recent act. I account for all of it. If you are watching this and you feel something rising in you that says now is the time to plant again, honor that. The Super Thanks feature on this video is available to you. Whatever you sow there, sow it with confidence. Tell me as you do it that you are trusting me with the return. I am listening, and I am faithful to what is planted in my name. I want to tell you something before I close this conversation that I do not think you have heard enough. I am proud of you, not of a performance, not of the version of you that has everything together. I am proud of the actual you, the one who has been walking through a hard season and has not stopped walking. The one who finds their way back to me even when finding the way back feels like more effort than it should. The one who is still here right now, still listening, still believing at some level that this voice is real and this conversation matters. That is not a small thing. Do not let anyone tell you it is a small thing, including your own mind on its worst days. You are still here. That is an act of faith. It is the act of faith I am responding to in this moment. I have not moved away from you in the seasons that felt quiet. I was not further from you in the moments you felt most alone. I was exactly this close, the entire time waiting for the moment when you would be still enough to feel it. This is that moment, and what I want you to take from it is not a temporary emotional lift that will fade by tomorrow morning. I want you to carry a settled knowledge that you are loved with a love that does not move, a love that does not have better days and worse days, a love that is not dependent on your performance or your consistency or your progress, a love that was declared over you before you were born and has not changed once since. That love is here in this moment, in this space, in every word I have spoken to you today. Let it hold you. You are safe, you are known, you are not behind, and you are not forgotten, and you are not too broken for what you have been hoping for. What is coming in your life is better than what the fear has been telling you to expect, and it is closer than you have allowed yourself to believe. The shift is already in motion, the preparation is ending. The season of expression is beginning, and you are going into it differently than you came into this season, because something in you has changed, is changing, will continue to change as you stay close to me. Hold on, keep coming back, stay in the conversation. I am not finished speaking, and I am not finished with you. Before you leave this space today, I want to give you a few ways to respond to what happened here. If something in this message landed for you, if it spoke to a place that needed to be spoken to, write "Thank you, Lord" in the comments. Let that be your moment of acknowledgement. Let it be witnessed by this community of people who understand what it means to need a word at exactly the right time. Like this video as an act of faith, not as a formality. As your declaration that what you received here today is real, and you are choosing to stand on it, share it with someone today who is in a hard place. Not because you want them to watch something, because you know from where you just came from how much it means to encounter something that meets you exactly where you are. Be that for someone today. And for those who feel led to sow financially into this ministry, into the ongoing work of creating these spaces where people encounter truth that reaches them at the right moment. The Super Thanks feature is there for you. Every seed given here is received in faith and prayed over. And I believe in the principle I have spoken about today. What is sown in good soil in faith comes back. I do not let faithful planting go without harvest. Whatever you give today, give it knowing that I am watching, and that I respond to the faith behind the act. You were not here today by accident. This moment was prepared for you, and what you carry out of it is the beginning of something real. I love you. Come back. There is always more.